Hello and welcome to The Free Cheese, episode 341. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Zoner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. The number one only place you can tune in for your rock and roll McDonald's. We're here. It's the one thing not getting canceled right now, currently. It's funny. As soon as the E3 should happen this week, I was like, all right, well, we're just going to start the show with news because there's just way too much. And now it's only been a few days, but I'm already like, who gives a shit? Like, it was so long ago because of how rapidly everything is just fucking changing. And
I officially have nothing to watch on TV. Every single sports thing known to man is just shut down. I can't even watch golf. Can't even watch tennis.
Who wants to watch either of those?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't
even watch the bad ones.
I can't even dig into the depths of the earth
and burn all the witches and slam. And you could watch King of the Hill now. Now is your call.
I probably could. Yes.
Yeah. And should and would. Yeah. Oh boy, we got a time.
How would Hank Hill handle all this?
There's
an episode.
Literally, it's a Y2K episode, and as I've been going into grocery stores just for regular things like 15 cans of Coke Energy.
I got 6 last night.
Yeah. As I've been doing that, and I see people frantically run by with toilet paper, that scene from King of the Hill where they're walking through, it's like Megalomart, and Bobby freaks out because a guy runs by with toilet paper.
Speaking of, we did go shopping just to get beer and some snacks for today.
Yeah.
Breaking kayfabe. It's a Saturday.
No. It's Monday. Good morning. Welcome to the start of your work from home week.
Yeah. We went to get snacks, but her mom didn't eat toilet paper.
Didn't eat toilet paper?
No, did need.
Did need. Got it.
Yeah. So I'm walking around with 2 things of toilet paper, like a fucking walking meme.
Oh yeah.
Probably having everyone take pictures of me. Look at this asshole getting all toilet paper.
I needed it this week too, just because
one needs to wipe their ass.
No, well, correction. Bought a bidet
right.
a month and a half ago, which now I'm like a fucking king.
You are a king.
Well, bidet companies are sold out all over the place, but you still need it just in case. Honestly, it's more just for after the bidet, because you gotta just there's a little
That's
bit
a
of
wipe, but you're wiping overhand. I don't understand.
The bidet does sometimes just kind of water splashes. So just you want
to
courtesy, dry off, right?
Oh, on the seat, you're saying?
On the seat.
Got it.
Yeah.
I now understand.
You do got to pat dry.
You
do got to pat dry, of course.
Yeah.
You don't want to be carrying around wet.
No, I understand, but the motion you were making, top.
The pantomime led
and that's
you.
why I was
you
gotta
astray.
wipe yourself. How do you wipe yourself? Ask us anything.
Bidet it up, man. Anyway, but I needed it and almost couldn't find it the one day I needed it, and then it was the whole because this was before the panic really set in. I was just let me run in here and grab some toilet paper because I had one roll. Just generally, you should have some.
Yeah.
Generally.
A reserve.
Right. And I'm looking at them fuck, there's nothing. And every cart I saw, someone had it. I was like, they're finding it somewhere. And then I looked, and it was tucked. There was 3 little stacks. It was $24. $1 a fucking roll. But the rolls
supply
are
and demand.
No. It was regular ass price, but the rolls are, super giant.
Got it.
All right, Matt. So this morning, I get up. I get a lot of Coke Energy. Mm-hmm. That way I'm fueled, ready to go for this work from home experience. I started fucking around with the Vita last night.
Ah, life.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the times.
I'm injecting it directly.
In the dark times of the world around us, the Vita has come to life.
We bring it back. Well, all right. I bought Parasite Eve because I wanted Square to get that notification that motherfuckers care, right? So, you know what I mean? They see sales all of a sudden.
No, I'm just trying to think. Is there someone in their office? This is the thing now.
They're reading emails. They're checking that. Someone's, and also at a time like this,
we're
Parasite
all about to
Eve,
have this cool work from home experience, and no one's fucking reading shit. They're all at home.
Parasite Eve makes most sense now more than ever.
Correct.
So,
mitochondria.
To jump forward, I play that. I'm fucking around. I'm like, man, I want to play some Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
I bought Silent Hill years ago, but you can't natively install it to the Vita. You have to go the PS3 route where you download it there and then push it to the Vita.
Yes, correct, because the PS4 device not recognized.
Right, it doesn't know what a PlayStation 1 is. So I'm fucking around with that before we got started this morning. And I'm down here in the basement. I got my big girl shorts on. Thighs chilling. It's here we are. I hear the doorbell ring. I'm like, fuck. I go up. I figure it's like a package or something I signed for. I don't see like a FedEx or a UPS truck nor a uniform on the body in the reflection of the... I'm looking, right? Who the fuck's out there? Neighbor next door. All right. Open it up. Hi. Hey, can I, everyone's out of town and I need help moving something in really quickly. Can I borrow your strength? And I said, yeah, sure. I can do that. No problem. I can do that. Let me put on some real pants, which is why you see me in these fucking asshole dad jeans, because I just grabbed what I had. Head out. It's like a fucking TV stand or whatever the shit. It's a little heavy. And so we slide it off the back of the truck, and we're carrying it in. We get it almost to the back door, like to the 3 steps up to the back door. And we're taking breaks because she's just kind of like, ooh, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. But it's fine. Take a break, whatever. We get almost to the stairs, and we're about to go up the stairs. And this lady that lives up the street who walked her dog all around and very old, very feeble, she walks down and she's waving hi. And I just kind of, I got a fucking heavy, hey, yep.
Yeah, a little head nod. A little head nod's probably all you need, right?
Not here. She goes, hey, we're moving something. We could use your strength if you've got it. I'm like, she doesn't have any fucking strength. She could barely get herself down the street. The fuck is she going to do with this thing? There's no fucking way. And I'm like, we got it. Come on, we're right here. We just got to get up these 3 stairs and we're in the fucking door, right? So we keep going. I'm doing what I can to encourage her, motivate her. Let's get this in the fucking door before we start dealing with this thing collapsing on a senior citizen here. Mm-hmm. I get the door up now. As you know, very large dog, big black lab. I'm smart, left these 2 inside, locked the door, don't even know that I went outside or right?
Smart move.
Get over there. I gotta say, the dog at least listens, right? When you're like, hey, watch out, buddy. He fucking move, right? So I'm backing in the thing, get it into the kitchen. She goes, you can just leave it in the kitchen. I'll figure it out later. I said, are you sure? I don't mind moving it wherever. She goes, no, it's fine. Well, by that point, the older lady makes her way into the backyard. She walks up. The dog sees there's a body outside. Not only is there a body outside, there's also a body holding a dog.
Yep.
So he runs out excited as hell. The direct neighbor goes, oh my God, you left the gate open to the older lady.
Uh-huh.
He's going to run out. So my gut instinct is, let me go out and try and distract him. Because, he's never had me over there before. He's probably excited. I can easily...
Yeah. You smell like other dogs.
Right. I can easily get his attention. He doesn't want my attention. So while the neighbor runs to go shut the gate, he jumps up on the older lady and, terrified, she just lets her whole body collapse. And I learned what I do in this situation.
Laugh.
Oh, if only. No, my body took over. I didn't even think about it. I just caught her and I'm like trying to hold her up. But as I'm trying to lift her back up so she doesn't hit her fucking head on the pavement, the dog's eagerly jumping up still. And she's just pushing further and further backwards and screaming. And I'm like... oh, fuck. All right. So I get her up, and I'm like, hey, come on, buddy. I get the dog fucking inside and whatever. Okay, we're good. Shut the door. I'm like, all right, we're good. I gotta, right in my head, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Before I can say that, the older lady just bursts into tears. Just bawling. And I'm like, I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm, so I just hear the music. I'm like, fuck. Normally I'm okay with this, but you caught me. I'm in my big girl shorts. I'm not fucking around with emotions today. Fuck. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Thankfully, she goes, oh, did that upset you? Were you scared? She says it's older lady. Fuck yeah, she was scared. What do you think she was? She threw her body to... She would have rather cracked her head open on the fucking thing than have the dog come near her. And she just starts... Then, this is where it fucking gets... She's like, I just saw my dog. It was all I have. And, you know, I got a degree years ago, and it's all dependent on this dog. I got a degree in art, and back then it was called special studies because they didn't have art, and now I'm an art therapist, and this whole thing's going on, and the whole time I'm just... and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? Because normally the dogs are my out. I'm like, shit, like they're screaming. I got nothing. They're locked inside the house. And I just have this fucking circus music in my head and her crying about her degree from the 60s at a liberal arts college. And then she graduated and she was a therapist. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm sitting there. I'm like staring like through both of them. And my phone, I didn't do it. My hand did it. Just the same way I caught the lady without thinking. My hand goes into my pocket, pulls out my phone. And I just pick it up, and I go, hello? Hey, I got to take this. So sorry. Out the fucking gate.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Fight or flight. It's flight for you.
Flight? No, I fought. I caught. Catch or batch. I'm a catch.
You caught, and then when the going got tough.
No, the going didn't get tough. That was not the tough getting going. We were already done with the tough. Now we're going to do this shit. I don't have time for this shit.
Wait, hold on. I must ask. Your backyard, just to describe the scene, we have some fences.
Yeah.
Did you just hop the fence?
I very, very much thought, even before the phone came out, I very much thought I should just hop the fence and say, see y'all later. But I realized
that's the most appropriate time.
I know.
That's the reason why you should keep your Christmas tree in your cellar, because you could have just looked and be like, shit, I gotta get rid of this Christmas tree. Gotta go.
That's the best excuse for anything. Oh, well, gotta get rid of this. Oh man, I just fucking can't. I don't have time for this shit. I'm polite. I will help you out like that, but like not doing this shit all the time.
Hello?
No. Oh fuck, dude. There's no fuck. No. Come in. The good news is I got Silent Hill and I got Castlevania Chronicles moved to my PS Vita.
Oh my god. We have a podcast to do.
Yeah, we do have a podcast to do. We got some video games to talk about.
How do we follow that?
It's a fucking week, Matt. I tell you what. Later on, of course, we'll have the news to talk about on the other side of the break. But first, it is time to talk about the video games that we have played in the last week. Matt, I'm going to start real quick and just let you know.
Let me know.
Completely fell off Warframe after last week's podcast.
I had a feeling it was going to happen.
I did too.
I had a feeling.
I didn't know it would happen that quickly, but
it happens.
Oh boy, just gone.
Not our fault if it happens.
Yeah.
So what was the last you played of it after we recorded?
Yes. I think maybe later that night I fired it up and I was starting to go through and I was like, nah, I'm good. Pulled my phone out, said hello, and I fucking walked out. No more Warframe. Not doing it. How about you? Did you play any Warframe this week? Did you get another platinum?
It's a tease.
Oh, you fucker.
It's a tease. But man, I smell fucking blood in the water. Because I did it.
Yeah.
I fucking did it. I beat Ornstein and Smo the second time on New Game Plus.
Was it actually like way harder? Because that was the concern going into it.
Yeah.
That this was going to be the fucking worst thing ever.
I don't know. I tried going into that arena by myself, and I just got fucking obliterated. Because the thing is, this time around, I have to kill him in the opposite order. This game has a thing where the boss drops souls, and those souls go towards special weapons.
And it's a specific named soul.
Yeah,
it's not the generic
like
souls.
Soul of Ornstein or
Right,
Soul
right.
of Smo.
Yeah.
Or
Heart of Vlad. Lungs of Vlad.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, those specific souls go to specific weapon or weapon types, and they make a special weapon, which leads to a trophy of having all of the weapons in the game, on one character at a time. So the way that boss fight works, of course, you kill the one, there's a cutscene, and then the other one becomes super.
Yeah.
And then when you kill that one, you get that dude's soul.
Yeah, the final one killed. You get
Correct.
That soul.
You don't get both.
And you found out after doing it the one way, thinking it was, hey,
Fine.
this is smart. I figured this out. I know the easy strat. Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Kind of messed that up. Because word on the street is that Super Ornstein is
hella tough.
Than Super Smo. And let me tell you what, that is the case. So.
Is it because this was the one where like you would walk in and you were dead?
Yeah.
So is that same idea here, just worse?
Yeah, I mean, he gets a lot bigger, and everything hurts so much more. Not just because of New Game Plus, but like because he's now super.
Yeah.
Everything just hurts, and even if you block it, like everything's just like dealing little chunks of damage, and it all sucks. So the good news is, and I know it kind of goes against what I'm saying, but I also did it for a reason, because I need to join Solaire's Covenant.
Right.
When I join Solaire's Covenant, I need to have these 10 Sunlight Medals to buy his remedy for the All Remedies trophy.
God damn.
Well, if you summon Solaire in the boss fights it's available for, and he survives, you get a Sunlight Medal out of it. Cool. Great. Let's whenever
this is the time to do it.
Whenever Solaire is available, let's summon him. Well, Solaire is available for this fight. So we go into the boss room, and so fucking easy. You just walk in, I just wail on Smo, Ornstein turns, and then usually Solaire dies just because, like I said, when even if you're blocking, he's just dealing damage. And then he just leaves Ornstein for me, and then I just die. First try, I was like, oh man, I was like right there. This is gonna be fucking cake. No. This is the fucked up part. Solaire is actually pretty fucking powerful, and you have to race him to kill Smo in time. So 3 times during that boss fight, I had to die intentionally because Solaire killed Ornstein before I could kill Smo. So in this weird way, the boss fight, like, still kind of as difficult as the first time, but
totally
for
different.
a totally different reason. So I had to play this super aggressive Sekiro, like just fucking wailing on Smo from behind. Like it was, I never played Dark Souls like that before.
Now,
don't want to play Dark Souls like that either.
Oh, so that didn't carry you forward? You're like, oh, now I have a new strategy.
No, I had no confidence doing that ever again with another boss. Yeah, it was wild. It was like dodging left. It was like playing Bloodborne at a boss fight I've seen like 30 times.
Wow.
The way I was playing Dark Souls.
Wow.
So
it's pretty cool though.
It's not.
I got the screenshot. I know what that was. But.
So I get through Smo. So finally, it was like the third time I was able to kill Smo was when I finally pulled through.
Yeah. And
it just so happened that like once I did that, cutscene triggers and like the first shot, Solaire's dead. So it is legit like 1-on-1. He has full health. I'm got a couple Estus flasks left, and it's a 1-on-1 fight with Ornstein. And dude, I am just like hiding behind pillars whenever he's attacking, just being very methodical, poking when I can. And dude, when I did it, I was just like shaking, like I had like a fever.
Yeah,
like it was intense.
And he's the one with the hammer or without?
Without.
Yeah.
He's got the pole guy. And he's quick and he zooms around the arena and he has lightning that he throws at you. So I swear like you have to either dodge or be behind a pillar. And then sometimes his physics clip through the pillars. So you have to be far enough away behind the pillar, but you can't be too far away because it'll just come around because the sight of line like allow.
Yeah, no.
It was intense, but man, I did it and I fucking feel great. And now, like, I feel like I've hit the peak. And weirdly enough, despite me smelling blood in the water, I kind of don't want to play anymore because I did the hardest thing.
That was the thing.
That was the thing.
Now it's all downhill. You just cruise right into that platinum.
Now I'm in the payment world again, the area you can't leave until you kill the boss. But, like, I need to farm these things from a certain creature, and it's like a 6% drop rate, and I need, like, 4 more of them. And it's like, ugh. So I'm like trying to grind that. Like, I immediately went from this high to like, all right, well now I just got to grind this area. And then that's also one of the bosses that I need to cut the tail off. So I need to play that boss fight in a specific way. And that's bullshit because she goes invisible. It's a cool mechanic. You play in a snowy arena.
Yeah.
She goes invisible, but you can see her footsteps in the snow. So you kind of know where she's at without seeing her. But when you gotta fucking go behind her and cut off her tail is not...
Yeah, no.
But...
You're getting there.
It's there. And then at this point going forward, all these bosses, this is the last time I'll ever have to see them. So, there's concern about the Four Kings fight because that's just a DPS. But now with all these bosses having more health, it's a little bit more concerning. But hey, we're knocking on the door.
Do you think it'll happen before D-Day? I know D-Day is a little early for you this time because
we're getting into that real soon. I guess thanks to COVID-19, it's going to be a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
Because I will be home during all this.
Shit. Yeah. Well, so what else did you get into this week?
Quite a few things. So, as you have said, my D-Day kind of started a little bit early. And
you had 2, right?
2. Well, one kind of came because of an alpha. And then the surprise drop from Call of Duty.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. I was talking about you got baseball, right? Didn't that happen?
Oh, so baseball, I kind of messed that up a little bit. If I pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition, I could have gotten it in Friday night.
Oh. But otherwise,
it's not worth the extra $20. I'll just wait. It's fine. Yeah. So that would be coming Tuesday.
All right. So no baseball.
No baseball. But, surprise, Ubisoft sent out closed beta codes for Roller Champions.
And that started. You got in, you played?
I got in, I'm playing.
And this is, remind the folks at home and me, because now I don't even remember what the game looks like or is.
It is roller derby,
yeah,
with a more arcade feel from Ubisoft, and it's free to, it's going to be free to play.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty much, game is like either 7 minutes or first to 5, and the way you score. In roller derby, you have to make laps, and I think you have like lap people for points or something like that. And this game is a little bit different. You just want to carry the ball or pass it to your teammates, pretty much have team possession, and work your way around this map in one direction.
Okay.
And then after one lap, you can throw the ball through this little hoop that's on the wall, and if you score, that's a point. If you go 2 laps, the little risk-reward mechanic, you can go 2 laps and then get 3 points, or you can go for the triple lap and get the 5-point bucket. That will ultimately end the game because it's first to 5 or whoever's winning after 7 minutes.
There's no ball.
There's a ball.
There is a ball.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
I'm thinking
that's how roller derby works.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, you have a ball, you carry it with you, and you have to keep possession of the ball as you're making these laps. But the other team is trying to tackle you and take the ball away or intercept the pass or things like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Is this because now I don't remember, is this like straight ass, hey, we're playing as these set heroes, or are you customizing a character?
Customizing.
Okay, cool.
Customizing, yeah.
Cool. So does yours look like Peggy Hill?
Not yet.
All right.
It's going to be one of those things where you gain currency, and I'm sure you're going to be able to buy currency as well. It has one of those rolling stores that let you buy your gear. So kind of think like Fortnite, where you have limited time to buy this outfit, but it will come back around in the rotation. You just have to kind of strike when the iron's hot. You gain currency for playing games, winning games, all that good stuff. But yeah, and then you'll be able to buy like headgear, gloves, shirts, pants, skates, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it still feels unique. Like I can see them; they're definitely going for that Rocket League audience.
Yeah.
But it still feels unique. And one of the things is like it seems so arcadey, like the aesthetic, but the physics of skating are so well done that it like there's this simulation feel to it while it maintains that arcadey feel. Because it like there's a skate button where like you're actually pushing your skates, but then like if you're coming down a hill, it'd be more in your interest to tuck because you can gain momentum and go faster than you were just to skate down the hill. And it's a matter of like kind of playing like with the hills and those two skating methods to kind of keep up and build your speed, because if you're still tucked and you're going up the hill, you drastically lose all your momentum because you're not skating up the hill. So, and then you'd like use the arena. The arena is like it has like little hills and valleys in it. It's all set, and it's all like, no matter the arena, it's still like the same physics with the hills and stuff. But like, it's a matter of like trying to use like the ramps and the little valleys and like the big turn, the big 180 turn, and the hill on that to your advantage. It was really well done. I mentioned before when I got into play this during E3 that I thought it was a cool idea, but there were some issues with tackling. One of the things they've done is address the tackling. So now there is a couple different types of tackles. There's like a shoulder charge. There's now like a diving charge that has extended distance, but it's high risk, high reward because you'll like fall down and you'll take forever to get back up. And I think there was like another type of charge too that will like, it's like high risk, high reward kind of thing. It seems like dodging, because of the different types of tackles, there's different ways to dodge now, which was what I kind of wanted. I wanted some kind of rock, paper, scissors method instead of just mashing X and being close to someone and just getting the ball. So there's ways to now dodge those different attacks. So like
rolls or
like little rolls or jumping or stuff like that. So that feels really good. I think that you can still do some tweaking to it, but like the systems are coming into place. And then the other thing is there's now team moves. So what you can do, if you're skating, you can come up behind your teammate, hit RB, and you pretty much drift, like I think Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
the back of a car.
sketching. Yeah,
sketching, yep. And then from there, you can do like a super jump, or you can speed up and get a big speed boost, or kind of, I think there was one more thing, I can't remember it, but yeah, you can use your teammates for momentum and kind of going around the arena for for different strategies. And that's the other thing. Like, if you have a good team and you got good chemistry, you will easily win games.
And it's there's no AI from what you're playing?
There you can practice with bots and stuff like that. And I don't know if they're going to do like a season mode like Rocket League with bots or anything like that. But the main menu is pretty much like quick play, ranked mode, then practice with bots or whatever. So, it's coming around. I think it's going to be a little interesting game. The arenas remind me a lot of Rocket League. Like, they just have that aesthetic. Yeah. There's like all kinds of different ones. Like, there's like this more Aztec one, this more stadium one, cool. Like this more beachy one. So, how
long is the open thing?
I think it was like a week or 2 weeks or something like that.
Because I just signed up apparently.
Yeah, it said closed, but pretty much if you say you want to get in, you get in. That's what I've been hearing.
I kind of hit it, and it was just like, hey, you're in.
So it's on PC. You have to get the Uplay, the launcher.
Yeah,
it's exclusively through there, and then just kind of click and you join.
I might check it out. I'm in, so I might check it out. Did you sign up for the Space Monkey program of Beyond Good and Evil 2 while you were in there?
No.
How about there is sign up, which I kind of want to do. Fucking Skull and Bones. I'm gonna do that right now. Actually,
I forgot that was a game.
Become the ultimate pirate. Register for beta.
There was one other thing. I remember last time, for whatever reason, I felt like you could like randomly throw the ball at any given time. I think they mapped it so that way your teammate has to call for the ball. Because I remember last time people just chucking it, and because of the momentum of the ball coming down the hill, like laps would go real quick. Because the possession, I say that in quotes, doesn't change until the other team attains the ball. So if you got tackled and the ball went loose, your like lap distance counter would not reset until the possession actually changed. So if you got knocked over and your teammate came and picked up the ball, you are still at like a lap and a half or whatever you're doing. So I remember teams doing that a lot last time. I don't see that happen as much, but I think it's because your teammate has to call for the ball, which is like a mechanic in itself.
So I wonder if they got the feedback.
I just remember it like constantly, like it just being looped around like that. So
because that was E3 that first.
It was during that weekend. Yeah.
That's cool.
Or that
week, sounds interesting.
Yeah, not bad. It's gonna be free to play. So like
why not?
Nothing better to do. Check it out. That's all I got. You want me to keep rolling or? I had a fucking week over here.
Yeah, I hit it up, dude. Because I got my 2 Castlevanias to check in with later on. But yeah,
right.
I know you had
Speaking of Castlevania,
Yes.
good old Metroidvania, Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
I got a lot of questions about this one here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right.
But tell me, how do you sit on it?
I love this game.
Yes.
I fucking love this game.
What did they... Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
I'm already...
No, so it's gonna... If you played Ori and the Blind Forest... You kind of know what to expect with this.
They made a sequel to that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the story picks up right where it left off. Still the same simplistic storytelling with the subtitles coming across. And there is a VO, but it's in like a different like language.
Yeah.
So it's still that very simplistic storytelling, basic cutscenes. But it's so... They fucking know how to poke at your emotions and be like, man, I feel sad. I don't even know what they're saying, but I feel sad for that guy. Or, oh, that sucks. Oh, I'm cheering for him, but now that, he's in a bad spot, so I feel the drive to go save him or whatever. It plays a lot like the first one. You're going around, you're going to these trees, getting a new power, and then you're able to traverse a new part of the map, blah, blah, blah. Some of the things they have changed, though. One, this game seems a little bit bigger. I'm not going to say a lot. I'm about 2.5 hours in and only 20%.
Yeah,
so,
they said it's a lot. They said it's about 3 times the size of the original.
I'm on pace for that. So it's still like a good... I'm not going to be stuck in it for 50 hours kind of experience, which I think I kind of want.
Yeah.
This game has some fast traveling, and I've kind of been introduced as like this base building mechanic in like my hub world. It's not like a Fallout kind of thing. It's just you earn these little collectibles around the map by doing intense things, and you give them to a dude, and he like, improves that area.
Yeah, because this has like side quests now.
Yes. Yeah. That's the other difference there. Side quests are marked onto your map. I don't really care about the side quests because kind of like if I'm in the area and I can reach it, sure, I'll pop in. But I'm not like, I don't feel the drive to like, oh, let me go help this guy. And right now I'm in a side quest where I'm like, oh, I found this thing, or I bought this thing from someone. I bought this bag, but the bag's not for me. It's for another adventure. Mm-hmm. Well, I found a dude who will want the bag, but he gave me this thing, but it's not for me. It's for the next person. I'm like,
I don't love any of that in games. Now, if it encourages you to go see places of the map that you wouldn't otherwise see, then I think that kind of helps. But
yeah, I think it's just going to be an extra like little thing to do that because the map does seem a little bit bigger. I haven't seen. I don't have all the map pieces to see it otherwise.
I guess people ask for that. I just would never like. That was some of the weakest stuff in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Was that kind of okay? Well, you have to go kill X amount of things and then bring back.
See, it's nothing like that, though. It's more like go to this area, activate this thing, and then either come back or you get the reward instantly. There's nothing where like I feel it's grindy at all.
Yeah, that's I appreciate that then, but it's definitely
so. Then like based off the you killing enemies, doing the side quests, you get different currencies and use that currencies to either buy shards, which are things to upgrade your character or improve said shards. You get the shard system is the series of collectibles that help your character in some way, whether more health, more damage, that kind of stuff. You get 3 slots for those things, and you're going to have probably by the end of this game you're going to have a decent pool of what to choose from. So you can kind of build your character in a way that you kind of play the game, which is kind of nice. They changed the combat a lot. The combat before was just a floaty orb, and it was just like dealing damage to things. Yeah, you actually have a weapon this time. Cool. You have like this energy sword light thing.
That's cool.
So the combat feels a lot better, and that shard system will play into that. And then you also get these other upgrades as well. Joe, they have taken out your save system that I loved so much.
Oh,
it is now
fucking God. So what happens when you die?
It's just autosave. It's like a thing. It's not as good as like a Celeste, but you're right back where you were in a matter of seconds.
That's what I want so much. That was the thing where I was like, no.
There was strategy in that save thing, though, because that save thing will automatically give you your health. Instead, now they have the autosave system, and there's an ability that you could map that's like revive, and it's like essentially the same thing as the save thing, besides the save.
So,
but that leads. So that's one of the other things now with. I think the combat being more fleshed out and having all these more abilities that you're able to buy or earn, you have to map the attack or the power up to a key button, whether it's on Xbox, only Xbox, X, Y, and B.
Mm-hmm.
And at any point, you can change what ability is where. So right now, I have my sword mapped to X, but I got the health gain on Y, and then I got a bow and arrow on B.
Okay.
But like as time goes on, I know I'm going to get more things and have to shuffle things around.
Yeah, prioritize different.
So that's a little bit different instead of. I think it was just like a special ability on B.
Yeah.
X was the attack with the orb, and then
I don't remember what Y was.
So yeah, once again flushing out that system a little bit as well. Maneuvering the map, it kind of sucked at first because you don't have the abilities from the first game.
That was my big question. It's like, how do they explain?
They don't.
You just start and
you're
don't. Lesser than you were.
And I was kind of like, once I started playing, I realized like I couldn't zip around. Like, oh.
I wonder if there's an example, and listeners, if you know, and let me know that I might not be thinking of. But is there a Metroidvania game a sequel to a Metroidvania game where you just start with what you had and you just build from there, or maintain with what or I don't know, like
Metroidvania? I don't know, but I always think of Infamous.
Yeah, that's a good yes. I think that's a really good example. Yeah,
yeah, that kind of sucked. But you're slowly getting the things you had back. But
if there's a story reason, I'm fine with it.
There's no story. That's kind of the disappointing part, right?
It's like Samus gets blown up, or she gets infected, so she has to remove her suit, or whatever.
Yeah.
Alucard gets stripped from death, or whatever. There's always a reason.
There wasn't anything unless I missed something like hidden in the context.
Hollow Knight, he was dead the whole time. You know, there's fucking.
So there's that, but they're not like giving you all the abilities back in the same order. They are mixing in the new stuff with the old stuff.
Yeah,
and like it's to the point where like the new stuff is interesting enough, and then when I get the old thing, I'm like, oh, there's that thing. I can start zipping through, and once again, using all those powers for these different segments, and it feels so good, like a Celeste, when you're going through the map and everything like that. One of my complaints about the game last time was enemy variety and just the color swap and just a little bit more of a health bar. There seems to be more enemy models, which is nice. They still have the color swap, but it seems like the color swaps at least have a different mechanic.
Okay.
Besides maybe a health buffer or whatever. So some variety there, which is welcome. And with the new combat system, actually kind of like fighting this stuff and exploring and, doing all that.
Yeah, because before combat felt like something you had to do.
It was the orbs, but like once you started zipping through the level, like it felt real good just to like kind of do that zip through the enemy and keep going. So yeah. And probably one of the best things like about traversing the map and making progress, there's always like little things in the map that make you feel like you're always moving on to the next thing, whether it's just a small little lever to pull or you have to go find a shard in the corner and you're looping back around right where you started that loop, and then the door is right there. There's all these little things that are constantly happening like every couple minutes, and I'm like, I'm making progress, and that feels so good in a Metroidvania where like you could be backtracking, but then having to go off in this little corner wherever. That is real good. I like it a lot.
Where are you playing?
PC.
How's performance?
Fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not what I've heard all week.
Oh, really?
That's been one of the things I keep seeing and reading people talk about is performance on consoles, not super great, even on Xbox One X. Digital Foundry had a thing that it's
I haven't looked into any of
dropping to, I think on the X, dropping to like 35 and like 15 on S or 14 on S. Like it's pretty bad.
I will say it took forever. I played it the one night for that 2.5 hours, and I haven't come back to it, but it took forever to launch the game.
Weird.
It was to the point where, like, not necessarily to, like, click on the button and have a loading screen pop up, but, like, the loading screen to go into the main menu.
Yeah.
I was like, did my computer freeze? Or it was, like, that long. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Well, I heard on PC also that it was, there's been patches and things that have come out, but it's still kind of, like, not framey.
I think I played day 2.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know if there was any patches like within that first 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like PC is the way to go currently, but
No, nothing that I've noticed, but also, like, I'm trucking this game at, it's 1440p on an RTX 2060 Super. Like, I think...
It wasn't that it was that, the things I was hearing is more, like, related to super high frame rates. Because you're playing at a high frame rate, the game didn't know how to animate. That was kind of the gist of what I was getting.
See, I don't necessarily know I know I'm running at least 60, but I don't necessarily know the frame count because it's on the Microsoft Store because of Xbox Live Xbox Game Pass. There's no frame counter yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like a Steam thing only.
And you're on G-Sync too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was another piece of it too. That was like people with G-Sync monitors are seeing more weird shit because of. But if you're,
nothing that I've noticed that was bad. So
that works.
All right, maybe that's why I'm enjoying this game so much.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to hear it. I thought I thought this was all gonna be like I really love it, but
no,
no buts.
No, the only thing that was weird was that initial loading. But once I got into the game, it was moving along pretty fine.
That's cool.
I mean, probably a couple like frame lags, but it was probably more in the transitioning from like cinematic to play or whatever. So yeah, I think I pretty much hit everything. Oh yeah, like you still have the same like health and energy meters, like the blue like little plant thing, the green little plant thing. You find shards to increase those. If you find two of either, like if you find two of blue, you get a new blue one. If you find two of green, you get a new green one. So you're progressing that health bar up. And then like the enemies, they're dropping like a currency as well, and that's also one of the things that helps you buy shards, and that's usually the currency you are earning from the side quest and things like that. It's the other kind of currency you're going out and finding in like a nook and cranny of a map that you kind of because you mastered an ability or something like that. But yeah, it's real fucking good. I was very high on Blind Forest, and I think I'm just as high, if not maybe a little bit higher. Curious to see how this plays out with the new mechanics, how well they stay their welcome.
Yeah.
How long the game is, I think is gonna be another key thing for me. I haven't had that fucking moment where I was about to bawl like a little baby, but I can easily see it happening at this point.
Sure.
Like I said, storytelling so simple but yet so impactful.
Usually something like that, when done well, it can be more. I mean,
it also helps that these little cute animals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
no one fucking wants to hurt a dog.
Yeah,
like John Wick massacres 50,000 people in his series of movies, but damn, his dog died, and everyone was like crying.
Right. Yeah. Ori, Will and the Wisps. Will of the Wisps.
Will of the Wisp.
Will of the Wisps. Speaking of W's.
And the Will of the Wisps. That's it. Yeah.
Speaking of W's. Tell me about Warzone.
Dude.
I assume that's next.
Dude, yeah, this is my final one, and then I'm
going to quote a text message I received the other night. The best battle royale yet.
Correct.
Bold claim.
Correct.
Bold claim from someone who hasn't even played Ring of Elysium in 3 years. Bold claim.
Oh, Ring of Elysium? What are you talking about, man?
From someone who's never touched.
Just because you could snowboard and not shoot in that game? Are you kidding me?
Was it?
Radical Heights was probably his best competition.
What's that fucking... Yeah. Fucking bold claim from someone who has never played Auto Royale from H1Z1.
Well, it's... I tried to play. It's not for a lack of trying. So we'll start with that one. You need a player base.
Tell me about the best Battle Royale ever made.
It's a lot to do with the fact that Call of Duty Modern Warfare's engine is so good.
Yeah.
It's the Modern Warfare engine, and it's actually in the Modern Warfare package. It's like a different selection in the main menu, which means that you will probably have to install lot of...
That's why I didn't try it.
A lot of Modern Warfare to get in.
Yeah, if you already have Modern Warfare, it's like a 20-ish gig
not
update.
Long at all.
If you don't own Modern Warfare, it's like 80 to 100 gigs or some shit like that, depending on your platform.
Yeah.
So I will never play
this.
But
it's free.
Yeah. Nothing's free.
Oh, then you have to get into the game, and then it needs to download the shaders and
of
performance.
Course. Yeah.
So,
I'm good.
Good
I'll
stuff.
just let you tell me about it, and I will understand what it's about.
So it's a 150-player battle royale. It seems to only have...
So that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to only let you do 3s. Whether you want to fill your squad or not fill your squad, that's up to you. But even if you're queuing in solo, you're playing against squads of 3s. I think that's just for player and queuing and stuff like that. I don't blame them for doing that at all. But no, like unlike Blackout, this feels like they were making this from the ground up with Battle Royale in mind. Blackout, it felt you could feel the campaign isn't coming together. Let's pivot and then stitch together like pretty much
map pieces.
Duct tape our fucking engine to support a Battle Royale on the fly. I don't feel that anymore. This feels real good.
That's cool.
It feels native in its engine, and it's the Modern Warfare gunplay that I talked about and loved from October or whatever. The sounds of the guns, the way they fire, all that stuff, tweaked, but in such a good way that Call of Duty's fucking back. Right?
Well, how is that translating for you when you're now suddenly fighting? Because Call of Duty is always about like run, kill, respawn, and now you're like shooting things with different tiers of armor, or maybe the guns themselves have different tiers. Like, is that changing kind of your like muscle memory? Is that kind of weird?
Call of Duty is meant to be played fast, and like I'm enjoying Warzone when I'm playing fast. Like, in a night where I couldn't squad up with any buddies or anything, like I was filling squads, and like I'll get to why I was able to respawn in a second, but I respawned and I fucked up where I thought he was. So like I spawned all the way across the map, and dude, I just fucking ran. I was running through houses, looting, and I was just like, there was a sense of confidence once I got an assault rifle. Like, I was fucking running. If I run into someone, whatever, you just kind of deal with it.
You said respawn.
Yes, I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
You asked about the armor tiers. You brought that up. There's no armor tiers.
Okay.
You just you acquire these plates. And this little animation of you like unzipping like your jacket and throwing in a plate. You can you get like a little extra health or armor meter for every plate, and you go up to 3, and then you can hold on to extra ones. So say you start the game with 2 already. I find 3. I put the 1 on. I'm up to 3 little armor bars. And that's it. There's no tiers. There's nothing like that. So you kind of that time to kill is kind of the same. No matter what, which is nice in something like this.
Yeah.
The other thing, I am never in a menu screen to fucking equip shit.
How do you equip? Just direction buttons?
Automatically done. You find drops with the attachments on, and they do it the Apex way of like common, green, blue,
really
purple,
good,
and orange. So good. I can tell you, I think I've played like 10 Warzone rounds. I can count on a single hand how many times I went to that menu, and it was just to drop armor drop either armor or ammo for a teammate.
Interesting.
So good.
Yeah, that makes it.
And then
easy.
UI, like it's your typical Call of Duty UI, but you know your entire loadout, and without having to know like, oh, I got this bullshit silencer for this weapon, I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
Completely clean.
That's cool.
It makes looting 10 times easier. The other thing, they have these buy stations, so. You can collect money, and you get them from like crates or from drops or from people that have money, killing them, picking up their money. And then there's buy stations.
What about real money?
No.
Are there microtransactions in this?
I'm sure there has to be something. I don't know where at though.
Yeah.
Or it's just another thing to encourage you to buy the battle pass. I don't think you can buy anything for this. I think it's either like skins or battle pass.
Is it technically still beta right now?
No, I think it launched.
Oh, no shit. All right. Sorry. Continue.
So there's buy stations, and because Modern Warfare has kill streaks, you pretty much buy kill streaks. Or you can buy a team revive. So say, like Apex, you can revive your teammates with $4,500, which is a decent chunk, but it's doable. And you can rebuy them multiple times if you really wanted to. You can buy a self-revive kit, so that way when you get down, you either eject yourself, or you can get any of the kill streaks to do whatever. So what this game is doing is just letting you be aggressive, because there's so many ways to get you back into the game and not feel bad for sitting around and watching. But all this sounds great, especially the non-inventory management. But the best thing about this mode is the gulag.
The gulag.
All
right.
If you die before like the top 20 or top 25, you see this cutscene where you're getting dragged into prison instead of you just spectating your dude. You wake up, and it's all instant, it's within seconds. You wake up and you're in the top level of a prison, and you're watching one-on-one matches happen in the prison like arena below
Fist
you.
fights?
No, gunfights.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gunfights.
All right.
This map or arena should be familiar to you if you've done the 2-on-2 gunfight mode, as this is one of the arenas in that mode. It's this small little prison, and you have it's like a small little MOBA map. You got left lane, middle lane, right lane, and you can mix and match the lanes as you're running through. And yet you pretty much you're watching these people go down there with random weapons, random loadouts, and they match. The two opponents match their loadouts. And if you win, you fucking respawn.
Weird. And if you lose?
If you lose, you're dead, but your teammates can still revive you with the money or whatever.
Okay.
So you're pretty much playing for an instant respawn.
Huh.
So, like, you're in the arena, you're watching this, and it says 2 matches to your turn, 1 match to your turn, and then all of a sudden you're in the arena.
That's a cool
and you're
feeling.
fucking random loadout.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Random loadout, 1-on-1. Yeah. I'm like 11-1 in the gulag. I'm feeling fucking good.
They keep record of that, or you're keeping record?
I'm keeping record of that.
Okay, all right.
Dude, it's so good. And then this is the fucked up part, or the cool part, I should say. If you and your teammates kind of got down at the same time, there's a good chance that you both enter the gulag at the same time. And because there's only 1 match going on, if your teammate's down low and you're up high, you could call out where they're going.
That's cool.
So that happened the night I actually got to play with Nick again for the first time forever because schools have shut down.
Jesus Christ.
So I was playing with Nick and his friend, and Nick was still alive, but me and his other friend Bob got eliminated. And dude, he got into the arena, and I said, "Oh shit, I can see you." He's going left, and then he fucking came around and flanked him, and Bob got in.
Cool.
I went to the gulag. I won my match, and then all of a sudden, we're all fucking back in the game. Weird. Now, you don't come back with your loadout. You're going to have to find guns again, but you're back.
Playing the same match.
Yeah, and the game is forgiving with the respawn, too. So, either if they buy it for you or you come back from the gulag, you will respawn kind of where the existing teammate is.
Yeah.
So, if you die and you kind of stay around your gear, you can respawn and get your
gear right back.
You drop in, you parachute in.
Yeah.
But if you successfully land in that same area, you can just go pick up your gear again. Oh, man. It's real fucking good.
So, how about... I totally lost my train of thought. Game time. Game length. What are you talking here?
Once again, kind of depends how deep you go.
Yeah.
But I would say like 20 minutes or so.
So is it more PUBG-esque or more Apex-esque?
It's somehow... This is the thing, right? I think it's... PUBG has the longer games just because of the nature of how that game plays. It's very slow and methodical, and you're just like slowly crawling to the next spot.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, just because of the nature of that game, you're just like go, go, go.
Yeah.
So I think the matches are longer than the Apex game, but because I'm moving around so much, or at least I am. I don't know how other people are playing it, and there's always a goal. It feels so fast, but I look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, half an hour is gone, or whatever.
Okay.
So I never felt like, oh man, all right, waiting for the next circle to collapse. I'm like fucking moving. And there's other things to encourage you to move, right? There's this system, it's called contracts. If you pick one up, it can be in a loot drop or just out and about in the world. You pick those up, and it encourages you to go to an area, maybe secure the area, or track down this dude. Like, it was specifically mark out a dude on the map for you to go kill.
Yeah.
Or go and get these series of 3 loot crates. And
interesting.
Like, yeah, it encourages you to keep moving, but if you complete the contract, you get
extra money.
Yeah, extra money, extra gear, or whatever.
Huh.
So there's a lot of cool stuff. The vehicles, it's so weird. This is the one thing that feels like really janky, but it's so good. Like, I don't know. You drive a car and you should know like a turn radius and whatever.
Yeah.
This is so fucking like loosey goosey arcadey. It's so good. It's so good in the best way.
I'm trying to think of what the last game I played that felt like just this was an afterthought.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like the turning's so easy maneuvering around the city. Like, it's not like super simmy, which it allows you once again just to keep that pace of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's the one thing
It's
that
all
feels
in favor
stitched,
of that, yeah.
but it encourages the fast gameplay.
Have you won yet? You got a chicken dinner?
I got fucking second place twice.
On your own or with the team?
With the team. It was me, Nick, and Bob.
Yeah,
but
do you all get second? Like, is it
we
second
all get
as
second.
a team? Okay.
Yeah. There was one time. So one of the things when they do like the loot drops, you know how Call of Duty has those pre-custom loadouts?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the first couple levels before. So when they just drop these super fucking high-end loadouts, and you choose like loadout 1, 2, 3, 4. So I respawned in. I was on the edge of the map because I just had a pistol. I had like no armor, nothing. Like one fell next to me with like 3 people left. I got there and I picked up. It wasn't anything great, but I got an assault rifle and a rocket launcher. Well, I got the 1v1, and I saw the guy, but he had a fucking sniper rifle, and I was just like pinned. So Bob was like, "Dude, fucking use the rocket." So I peeked out. I used the rocket. I missed, and as I was firing, I got shot.
Fuck.
It was just because I didn't have the right loadout. But yeah.
That's cool.
It's real good. Once again, free to play. So, God, it's worth waiting and clearing out that goddamn hard drive.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Just double checked. 175 gigs on PC.
One of the best things, too, about the Gulag, when you're in that thing, not only can you watch, but you're equipped like 5 rocks. Like, you can toss the rocks at people. I don't think it does damage, per se, but it does disorient you because you get ticked like you're getting hit. And you're like, oh, wait, that's coming from behind. How's it coming? But no, it disorients you just enough where in that small arena, that half second to 1 second could mean life or death.
Yeah.
And that arena with the random like drops, it's been like handguns, magnums, shotguns, like I've seen a lot of different varieties. So like it's not a matter of just getting good with that loadout. Like you just have to know your weapons and how those weapons play. Yeah, it's real good. And that arena is so small that it gives you like the timer before using your grenades. So you just can't spam a Molotov right away. You have to wait like 4 seconds. Huh. Real good.
You think you'll stick with it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. I wanted to play it last night with Nick, but no one could get on. But I found myself like going in, and
just playing anyway.
Dude, it's so good.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how that evolves.
Yeah, there is another mode I never played. It's called Plunder. It has respawns, and it's about making money, but we never played it because we were having so much fun with the fucking regular mode.
Why would you?
Yeah. Yes. It's great.
You had a fucking week, man.
It's fucking great. Man, that clean UI, I think that's the biggest game changer.
Yeah, that helps a lot, because those other games just get so convoluted and messy. Speaking of convoluted and messy, I'm at the very end of Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, I think, and it is it's tough. It's very difficult.
Oh, you say?
Yeah, it feels unfair at first, and then you realize that they're just checking to make sure that you've been paying attention to all the enemy types throughout the whole game, that you're ready for it, and you know how to react to any situation. So the chunk that I'm in, whether it's the final or close to the final, whatever it is, but I'm on like the 6th stage, which typically those old Castlevania games, it was always like 6 major areas. As soon as you start the stage, you've got 2 flea men, which already one flea man sucks dicks in one of those games.
Yep.
You got 2 of them bouncing around, and they're not on the same, you know what I mean? They're on their own fucking sine wave. So you deal with them, you move up a little bit before you get your second whip upgrade, right? If you're starting from like fresh, I'm dead, whatever, you get 2 whip upgrades from candles randomly. The first one takes it from just a standard leather whip to the chain whip, but the second whip upgrade always gets you the longer reach with a harder hit. Before you get that second one, you're faced with an axe knight. So when you have the second chain, you can easily stand at a distance where the axe knights throwing axes will not hit you, and you can take out an axe as it's coming at you and still land a hit in on the axe knight. Without that second one, before you can get it, you have to get in tight, so you almost have to eat a hit, or just like be quick and hope that you don't eat a hit, because it's sometimes not as predictable. Now you can switch to Sypha. I've got Sypha in my party because this is the whole game where you can pick one of 3 companions. Sypha, you don't have to worry about ducking to hit a bottom thrown axe. You can just kind of spam. But if she takes a hit, she gets hit for 1 point health more than Trevor does. And she also takes longer to kill the Axe Knight. So it's a trade-off you kind of have to consider. Once you get past that, there's another Flea Man waiting for you. Then you finally get your whip upgrade. You make it to the next room. The next room, you have water, which this is kind of a new thing for this game. But it's a running like stream of water. You're kind of like at this point, if you think about it, you're climbing through Dracula's castle. You're at the top of the castle, and it's like a waterfall raining down that's going to like push everything down to the moat, so to speak. Well, you've got fishmen swimming through there. So if you're in the water and one of them bumps into you, that's a hit. But what you're really worried about is they come out of the water and they spit fire at you. Not raps, but like they actually shoot a fireball at you. There's also birds flying down at you. And the birds have kind of like a horizontal and diagonal dive toward you. And it's always relative to your player position. So that's a pain in the ass because you're kind of like trying to jump to the right point where you can take out the bird and also deal with the fireball coming at you. The fireball is usually at a position where you can't just hit straight forward to strike it. You need to like either jump a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not a clean defense that you can have against it. So it's just all of those things little by little. And when you finally get through like that, just every room is just this gauntlet of like, fuck you. Like there's a lot of things constantly. Like I think every room has one of the types of enemies that are a motherfucker. I'm sure Medusa heads are just past where I can't get past so far. But it's just been like fleamen, bats, birds. Then I think the one room that's really a fucker is nothing but the bone towers, the little stacked bone skull things that just spit at you from. It's I'm still going because I want to get through that, but boy, I'm like feeling it. So it's just little by little. I'll pick up my Switch. I'll try I do 13 runs. If I can't beat it, just move on, close it, go do something else.
13 runs.
13.
How quick does 13 runs go for you?
Depends. Sometimes it's like you fucking bad luck in one of the rooms and you take too many hits. I am getting better at it though, and I've picked up. That's the great thing about those old games is like the more you run those loops and those individual levels, the more not only are you figuring out a strategy to kind of combat what you're up against, but you're also figuring out different things that work really well. There's a section in one of the stages, or one of the stages within the level, where you get the holy water upgrade, and if you use the holy water quickly enough to kill an Axe Knight in this one room, he'll drop a doubler. And with the doublers in those old Castlevania games, it means that when you hit up and B, you can hit B twice and throw 2 holy waters. So you can have 2 on screen at once instead of just 1. So that can later help you as you get up. And if you do that again to another one, you get a tripler. You know what I mean? Like, but then you take one wrong hit and you're thrown into a waterfall and then a fish gets you. It's just a fucking... But really the meat of the week was Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. I did not think I was going to like this game as much as I am, but it just goes to show you, don't listen to what fucking other people say and play games that you're interested in because you're interested in them. So, I think I'm about the halfway point, knowing, how many upgrades I kind of have so far. And the upgrade now, I think I talked about it a little bit last week, but as you upgrade your whip, your shadow claws, and your void sword, you unlock new combos. So it's like now I can jump in the air and hold X and he'll do this forward guillotine attack, or I can press A and Y to do an upward lift and then hold Y while I'm in the air and he'll do this crazy spin in the air. And you have kind of all those different button combos for each, the whip, the sword, and the claws. And each of those little combos that you have to purchase to unlock with experience points, you also, as you use those in combat, are ranking up each one's individual mastery. So it's those attacks I think you get stronger as you use them
that makes
more.
Sense, right?
They don't actively say that, but there's an idea to making sure that you're mastering it. And by default, you do have to go into the menu, look at the skill, and then you see it's kind of like it's a circle on the. It's like a big what's the fucking Final Fantasy X sphere?
Sphere grid?
Yeah. It's like that kind of, right? It's like a chart of all your different attacks for
Sphere
each
grid,
weapon.
the best level system ever in a Final Fantasy game.
It's like that, but each of the little nodes kind of fills up as you do a certain percentage of completing that like mastery of that skill. And it's really just have you spammed it enough until you've done it so many times.
Kill 10 enemies with this kind of weapon, and now it's level 2, right?
They just don't. The way they say it is like mastery level 12%, and you go and you do an attack with that combo. Oh, okay, now you're at 15.2%, and you keep doing that. So the one thing that I didn't love about the first game, and I didn't love about this game as I started going in, was just the quick time events are just kind of the actual.
What year did this game come out? I forgot.
February 2014. So the QTEs in this one are not like hit X now. It's a kind of like an ornate looking circle with another big transparent ornate looking circle that slowly gets smaller. And then as both circles are the same size, that's when you hit the button. But it's not a specific button. You just need to hit any button. It just doesn't feel good. There's no good like feedback mechanic that you did it right. You know what I mean? Like there's no like ka-ching or like anything. It's just like the thing happens and it doesn't really always, I don't know. So I was fucking around the settings one day and realized you can turn off QTEs with no penalty.
Nice. Like
just kill them. Okay, great, sick, did that.
God, do that in Resident Evil 4, please.
Because there's even stuff like when you go to open a door, like you have a dungeon key, so you put the dungeon key in, and then you have this big like Wheel of Fortune, not Wheel of Fortune. What's the Bob Barker one? Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah.
You have this big Price is Right.
Drew Carey now, joke.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about my old boy. You got one of those, and you have to like literally. Gabriel pulls down on it, and then QTE, and then he pulls down on it, and then QTE, and then pulls like it's that until the doors open like 6 times. You're like, fuck.
It's like the generator in The Last of Us.
Yeah, not fun. Yeah. Not fun at all. Like, who wants to do this? It's not a good time. And I get someone wants to have that tactile input, so they're not just watching something play out, but then maybe don't watch it play out. I don't know. Like, there's
fuck that. I don't want to. Dude, it's a break in Dark Souls whenever I get to pull a lever for 3 seconds or open a door. It's like, oh god, I can rest for a second.
This is way long. Like opening a door,
I know
though.
what you
Like
did.
maybe just have him pull it once and the door's open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that might be the answer in this game.
But why do that when you can pad out the game? You know?
Yeah,
those extra 5 seconds add up.
That's kind of what I don't like about this game is how much its systems get in the way. There's a lot of like the platforming. I think is pretty actively bad. Finding hidden upgrades is really the pet peeve I have of this because I feel like the game has this beautiful art design and direction. Like everything is this like gothic ornate. You know, the company or the developer Mercury Steam is a Spanish developer. They've got a lot of like really good gothic influence already in that where they're based out of. I think they're in Madrid, right? Like, or I can't remember if they're Madrid or Barcelona, but either way, both cities are just like beautiful and ornate and you can see that at play here. Like there's so much of that influence here. And then you want to explore Madrid, yeah. You want to explore these like little city pockets and things that you're in, but like the traversal just sucks. Like when you're on the ground, great. A basic let me jump up to this platform and pull myself up, pretty good. But then it's like, oh, I see a glowing blue thing around a corner. That means that a pain box is back there I have to go punch and bleed into so I can get the upgrade for my health. That's what they're called.
That sounds like the most badass sentence in the world.
Pretty good.
I have to punch this thing and bleed into it.
And it's called a pain box. But in order to get to them, you often have to go through really bad platforming to the top of... It basically, you go through the whole platforming section that doesn't feel great. Like the one I just did literally this morning that pissed me off.
Is it just stiff or like
it's very stiff and it's
like Lara Croft, like old school Tomb Raider stiff?
Yeah,
oh,
like it's very you must do exactly what you're supposed to do, and any variance from that you're just gonna fall and have to restart again. The one I did today that Admittedly, last week when I did one of these, I was like, I can't believe they put this fucking cage system in here just for this one section. Like, they did end up reusing it, but it doesn't feel good, so I don't know why you would use it in the first place. They're hanging cages from the ceiling, and the floor of the cage is a plus sign, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on the plus sign, right? Like the center, and then each of the 4 edges.
Like
Gabriel, D-pad. Gabriel can walk to any one of those 5 points. So let's just say you're going to the up part of the D-pad and the down part, or even the middle part, just up and down, up and down. Then the cage will swing in that direction.
Okay.
So you need to walk forward, walk backward, walk forward, walk backward, walk forward, and then jump to the next one. Well, now this one needs to go left and right, but your momentum's already pushed you forward, so you can still walk left. So like he's swinging and you're hitting left, and as it's still swinging in the direction that your momentum was in, you're walking the opposite direction, and then it eventually catches up with you, and then you kind of take a leap, but the camera's in the way, and you don't feel like you actually should be landing this, but somehow you land it in the next. It's that, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. I don't know why it's in there. It's just a weird thing. Like, just put a fucking ramp. Just fucking Tony Hawk's level editor. Just Command C, Command V, ramp. I would have rather have done that than
Port.
this. Done. This one, there's a fucking. I do this again. You get to the very top, and it's again like it's not like, okay, I jumped through 2 cages. Now I'm on the main platform. I can climb this ladder and I'm up. It's climb up this fire escape. Do some weird shimmying, which none of that feels necessarily bad. That's fine. You get into the building, and now you're up on this platform that you jump into a cage, and then you do the swinging mechanic for 1, 2, 3, 4 cages. Then you're on the next platform that you jump.
So does each cage have a D-pad? Like you're jumping into another. Okay, got it.
Each cage is a D-pad. Yeah. You jump in. 1, 2, 3, 4 cages. Then you're on a platform. Then you jump to another cage that takes you to a higher platform that is in the dark. It's literally a leap of faith every time I've done it. I'm like, I think I have enough momentum. Yep. Okay, I got it. You get up. Then you go not to another cage, but to like another like hanging platform, shimmy around, run across, drop down, cage, big platform, big leap to a big platform. And now you're like, okay, I can see where I have to go. You have to swing, you have to run and jump, grab onto a thing, and then shimmy around and work your way up to get out of this building. To be on the roof of the building is where you need to go. But there's a pain box if you just drop down from that point. So you've done all of this platforming. And if you want the little boost to your health, you gotta drop down and grab it. So I drop down and grab it. I'm like, okay, can I jump back up? Nope. Like, none of them have that. No, I shouldn't say none of them. Some of them do have that. And I think maybe that's the frustrating part, is like, some of them you have to go back through these painstaking platforming sections. Others, it's like, well, you can just kind of go back around the way you came. And there's just an inconsistency there that's like maddening and makes me not want to get all of the power-ups. Like, I'm okay if something makes me go out of my way to get a power-up, but don't make it so inconvenient to do, right? Like, I'd rather go into the final end of this game underpowered, and I feel like that's why I ended up walking away from the last one with a bad taste, because you get to the end of it and you feel underpowered, but you're kind of forced to be underpowered unless you go through all of this, like, bad platformy bullshit.
And that's what I like about like Ori's map design, or like relating it back to what I was talking about earlier. When you go to get those power ups, there's either like an easy exit out of the difficult situation you just went through, or it's just in a nook or cranny. You just now have like the 3 power ups to get in there, and then an easy bail out of it. Like that's the smart map design now. Like, and yeah, I can see that where that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, like I'm okay if it's a dead end. I'm okay if it's that, but just like to have to do something like literally climb and then choose between moving on to the next section or jumping down to do something. And then like there was a second one in that whole platforming thing. Once you're finally on the roof, because when I was going up the fire escape, I could see one floating, and there was no way to get to it. And I was like, okay, it must be when I get to the roof, I have to drop down to it. I did it and fucking missed. So
yeah, especially like a game where the platform doesn't sound like it's good at all. Like,
no.
You know, like at least with Bloodborne, that game's not a
right,
platformer,
yeah.
But you use that weird hop jump into like an area, and you get that nice whatever.
Yeah.
Like what was the currency? What was like the Blood Echo currency? I'm thinking everything's fucking soul now, but
I don't like blood gem or blood.
not the gems, but the thing that like if you used
Oh,
it, you got like
the
2,000 blood echoes or whatever.
Frenzied cold blood.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you might get like a super powerful one of those, and then there's like an easy path back out to where you made that jump.
Yeah,
or
no.
like maybe just an enemy there,
Or sometimes maybe you did drop down to a point where you can't return, but
there's a lamp to get you out.
There's something. Yeah. There's nothing. It's just like.
Or the prize is worthwhile that you can't get out.
Yeah, this
like
is
a
not
new weapon
worthwhile.
or something.
This is a
small health bump.
It's one of 5 you need to collect to get to the next tier of health.
Yeah.
Right? And
that's fucking dumb.
It sucks. So, that aside, QTEs I turned off. You can also, there's other options you can turn on or off. I don't even know why I ended up in this menu, but I'm happy that I did.
Is this just the base game, right? It's not like a remaster or anything like that?
Yeah, no, it's just base. But I think the first one had a lot of complaints about QTE stuff, so I think they implemented.
I didn't know
here.
this was like a something they.
Yeah,
they complaints
got,
of like a
yeah.
remat. Yeah.
But I was able to turn on enemy health, which was nice. You just have a little baby health bar right next to an enemy as you're fighting them, so that's neat. Mm-hmm. And then show your mastery percentages up in the top left in the UI. So as I'm hitting something, I can see. It just makes it easy because there's like.
Well, there's also a sense of progression with that too. You see that the number keeps ticking up.
Exactly, because you want to have that completion in the game, and the game really wants you to have that too. Like every time you have enough experience points to upgrade something, or you've mastered something, and they want you to transfer your mastery to the weapon, so the weapon is stronger. They very much tell you. So I'm like, okay, well, I do want to fill this out, and I know that I didn't fill it out the first time, and I didn't actively get good at the game. Where now that I'm like learning how to use these skills and learning how to time the focus and things like that, I do actually feel better at playing the game, which is a welcome change from first time around. I think that the story, while we just talked a lot about the platforming, I think the story is kind of the weakest part of the whole thing, only because it's, I don't know.
This kind of like 2 years after the first one.
No, it was a little bit. The first
Was
one, this is about 5 years almost.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. But the first one had a good chunk of DLC that followed it and things like that. And in between the first and the second, they put out the 3DS game that was kind of like it is technically a prequel to this game's story.
Bridge.
So in that game, The Mirror of Fate was the subtitle of the 3DS game. And now the part I'm in of the story here, so you're Gabriel and Trevor is your son. Mm-hmm. Trevor was given the Mirror of Fate. I guess that was something that happened in the 3DS game that I'm missing. The Mirror of Fate broke, and Trevor wants you to help him put it back together. So you're slowly gathering pieces for the Mirror of Fate. I think I talked about it last week where it keeps jumping between present day and the old stuff with Trevor, and that seems a little weird. I think
you were saying last week about like, you wonder if the rest of the game is going to do this. What? It sounds like the rest of the game is doing that.
It is not so much like the beginning part of the game was very much like you would clear out 2 or 3 rooms, and then they would have you stand on a wolf pad that would call a wolf who leads you through time, through a blood portal to a different era and time. You're not actively doing that stuff where you're like jumping. But it is like kind of just pulling you like, okay, now we have to go to present day. And I think the story is just, it's like, it's been 1,000 years. You killed Satan in the first game. Now Satan wants to come back. So he's slowly sending things into the world that you're fighting and things. And it's whatever. The flip side to that is I think that the lore is super cool, which obviously Castlevania, I've always loved the stories they tell and things like that. I think they're fun. But this, everything you get, there's lore to it. Just like Bloodborne, right? Like every time I get a weapon thing, it's like tells you like what this weapon is. Every time you encounter an enemy, anytime you encounter an NPC, there's always a lore piece attached to all of them. And there's like, and I think even more, like I would love, honestly, I looked briefly. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and see if someone actually made it, because I just think it'd be cool if there was a physical fucking book like there is in the game. Because in the game, everything is through a book that Gabriel is constantly reading through. And every lore piece, there's like this big long string of text on the left side. And on the right side, there's a really beautiful hand-drawn like piece of art to accompanying it. If I could have that as a physical thing just to sit and read, I think it'd be really cool. But yeah, I think that overall story, while weak, I think is intriguing also, because now you have a Belmont turned Dracula. So this kind of like, right now there's an unnamed hero that I'm chasing through the city, and he's carrying it. The most recent like cutscene I saw, he's carrying a cross in his hand, like the whip. I'm pretty sure it's Simon. Mm-hmm. So having like the fact that it's Dracula is part of the Belmont lineage adds this other like personal investment layer to it. Gabriel's not the hero that I really want to root for, which I think they do intentionally so they can slowly make you care about him through the course of this game. Because the first game very much made him a sympathetic character. Like they, I don't know if it was right away or at some point in the first game, they kill Gabriel's wife or something, or kidnap her, I don't remember. But you kind of feel for him. He's a very sympathetic character, and by the end of it, obviously, he becomes a monster. Now it's kind of like the monster becoming human again, which they're working on it. I still don't really care about him. I think the acting is great. It's Robert Carlyle, who I remember him first from 28 Weeks Later. He played the dad of the two kids.
Oh, okay.
In that one. He's really, really good. I forget what else I've seen him in. I don't know, but he's good, and he does the voice of Gabriel in both games. The last thing I want to bring up that I think has been really fun about this is the boss fights. The last week, I think like right after we recorded, I did one where I fought Carmilla. And
the wrestler, right?
Yeah, the wrestler. Yeah. Is there a wrestler named Carmilla? Mm-hmm. Named after Castlevania, maybe?
No.
Yeah. That one sucked at first because of how much you had to spam this shit. But once you kind of figure out what you have to do, she has these like circles floating around her, and they're lit with kind of like a blue aura. You need to use your orange aura to counter that, but you have to hit her enough so that you can break through one of the rings. And that's obviously burning your orange meter, so then she sends out demons, and you need to get perfect hits on the demons. But that got me really good at the combat to a point where now I'm a little more confident after the fact. And then you get mist from her. So I've been walking through these things, and I'm like, why the fuck can't I open these gates? Well, because now I have mist, and now I can just pass through it. But Carmilla's not the fun fight. The fun fight was the toy maker fight.
Ah, well, it makes toys.
Which... well, yeah, kind of. So the Trevor stuff where he's like, Daddy, and he has a very thick, I think, Irish accent. When I hear it, I know what it is. So this is not me being ignorant. Day, by the way. Hey. It's not me being ignorant of the differences between accents, but now in my head, I can't remember if it's Irish or Scott. When I hear it, it's very... anyway.
I wouldn't know.
It's just weird because Robert Carlyle has... I don't know. Anyway. He tells you, like, he needs you to go get the shards or whatever. So the first one you get is from the toy maker. And the way they do this boss fight, you get into the theater, and all the platforming stuff aside, because there's a little bit of that it's not as bad as the one we talked about, but there's a little bit of that. Once you get in, you have to restore power to the theater and thus to the actual stage. So the stage can light up, and there's the production of it all and whatever. Gabriel takes control of this kind of like booth where he can like bring different set pieces onto the stage. And there's a narrator who pops up on the side of the stage and leans in and starts like narrating the story of this play about the toy maker and his history or whatever. So as the narrator is going, you need to pay attention to like key cues of what he's saying. And then items drop down from the ceiling, and as Gabriel, you choose which of those items you put onto the stage, and then you hit X to continue the play forward. And the narrator will continue the story, and if you fuck something up, he'll say, like, no, listen carefully. And he says it again. Or you can always ask for him to repeat it. You just get reduced experience points in the end. So you go through that until you learn the whole, like, tragic history of the toy maker. But it's such an interesting introduction to that character. Like, instead of it being a cutscene or anything like that, like they actually put on a stage play with little like puppets on strings. They animate in a certain way, and it's really well done. And like it felt really involved in like a weird, cool thing. You find out the background of the toy maker and how he was kind of brought into a castle to be a slave to make toys, and then whatever. Now he's an evil man or whatever the fuck. Or well, you find out that he he gets out, right? So then
Yeah.
as you find out that he got out and he's no longer trapped in the castle, the actual toy maker is kind of behind you, preserved in one of his giant creations. And he's dead, but he has no heart. So you take the heart from the puppet and you put it into the actual toy maker, and he comes back to life. And he starts talking to you. He remembers that he does have a shard, and he starts to hand it to you. And then all of a sudden, like, he like physically morphs. He's like purple now and weird and fucked up, and you can tell like evil has set in. Then you have to fight him as he kind of climbs in and out of different pieces of his creations or whatever, and you fight those creations. You take him out, and then like right before the final blow, it cuts to a cutscene again, and he's like morphed back and like terrified little Ben Franklin looking motherfucker who's like, "Oh wait, sir, I remember who you are." And he gives you the shard and whatever, and it just was a fight where like it wasn't necessarily difficult to take out each of the things that he's in. It wasn't difficult to fight him or avoid what he was throwing at you. It was just all really well done from beginning to end, which I really enjoyed.
It's the set piece itself.
Yeah, it was such a good one because there's like one that I did where you're literally playing hide and seek with a fucking giant like cool looking dude. It's like a man goat, like an anthropomorphic goat man, but he's the skeleton, and he just hunts you through this little area, but you can't walk in the leaves because they make too much noise. You have to hang on the sides of these little like flower beds and shimmy, but if you're shimmying, you still make noise, but he doesn't hear you. It's a bug. It's a weird bug that like, it's like there's bad examples in this game of like where there's been these like boss interactions or boss encounters versus really neat setups like this one where I really enjoyed what they did with the toy maker. I hit a point this morning when I was stopping where I was kind of like, all right, I gotta walk away from this. Like it was just like, fuck this. The game's starting to ask a little bit more of you in a combat sense. Not in a like, hey, you got to know what you're doing, but it's really pushing to use the shadow claws a lot more. There's a lot more armored enemies, and the armored enemies, the only way to break armor is with the shadow claws. But if you don't have enough energy already, it's hard to get that energy unless you can get a couple of successful hits. So that I'm playing that balancing act. The game does have sub-weapons, just like any Castlevania game. But they're a little bit different. So this is the first time I've actually used any of them in more than half of the game. I don't know. I'm going to keep going with it. I definitely want to see this one through to the end. And I do kind of want to see what the a la carte DLC is down the line too, which is I don't think included in the Xbox Live Gold stuff, but I will gladly buy it if I get to the end of this and don't hate it. But Lords of Shadow 2. I did not think that in 2020 that would be the game that I'm like, fuck yeah, but I'm digging it a lot. I would say if you didn't already, and you have Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass Ultimate, at least add it to your library.
Yeah.
That way you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta play something when you're quarantined.
That's true. Because you can't just play Quarantine. Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we have a good chunk of news to get through. But you know what?
I think they're all related, honestly.
A lot of it is related. So we're going to move quickly through it. Because I'm sure that by now, you already know. We'll get to the fun stuff. We'll be right back. News. Matt, we've got 14 items here to talk about.
14 items.
You tell me how many of them belong in the same news story.
A baker's dozen.
Number 1. Besides spiking the mic, Phantasy Star Online 2 open beta begins tomorrow, March 17th, on Xbox One. Ready to go?
Yeah,
you got it
now
preloaded?
I am.
I will try this, but I'm not going to lie. My excitement's pretty deflated. I don't know why. I think once that closed beta happened, which I only had time to try the closed beta the opening night when it was all completely fucked up. But
yeah,
once I started to see kind of what that game was, I was like, huh.
I mean, I never got to because you needed to be part of the Xbox, like...
Insiders.
Yeah, that's not the case now, right?
It still is, I think.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But, yeah, they also announced a lot of, like, things. It was like a starter Founders Edition or some shit like that for $60. If you buy it, they give you a Sonic hood or a whole Sonic costume.
Fresh off of Sonic Forces.
Yeah, exactly. And a whole bunch of, like, in-game stuff that looks really neat. It seems like a pretty good value if you're super excited for PSO2. I just don't know that I'm super excited for PSO2 anymore, and I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm like, I don't know if I have time to dedicate to a game like that. You know what I mean? But number 2, Elecom is releasing a gaming eye mask that promotes blood circulation using your very own body heat. For roughly $30, you buy this, you wear it on your eyes after a gaming session's over, or maybe you just take a break, you pop it on for a few minutes to promote blood circulation in your eyes.
So that's what that thing was.
Hell yeah.
So there's a few things we're going to get through that were posted all in Japanese.
You're welcome.
And I was very lazy to not run it through a translator.
So what I recommend you do is you can create a shortcut for Bing Translator right in your share button menu.
Got it.
So I usually do that. I'm reading through Famitsu.com or whatever, and yeah, that one I saw and I was like, this is a dumb thing.
So the only thing I had was just this picture of a man wearing these blackout shades. I'm like,
because it kind of looks like a small bra for your eyes.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah.
My question about this is,
can't wait.
Will this be the hot new item at TI-10, assuming TI-10 is not canceled? You think people in between rounds are going to be popping on an Elecom gaming mask?
I'm sorry. What were the benefits of this thing again? I know
it promotes blood circulation,
yes.
And it does it all naturally. There's no electricity. And you see, competitors, they'll try and have you hook up all this shit to your face. This, Matt, uses your own body heat through the material there to generate what I have no idea.
They're too busy doping, so.
All right, fair enough. Speaking of dopes, Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined the board of directors for GameStop as the company continues to seek a viable future. Reggie is one of the named among a few others, all of which, or whom rather, have a strong history in business of some kind. Everyone, it seemed like, had a pretty impressive career background joining this board of directors for GameStop. Matt, do you think that GameStop could be home to the Bigfoot Pizza? Future home of the Bigfoot Pizza.
I mean, they got to do something, right?
That might be.
I was kind of curious to see how the market, because remember, like GameStop stock has been like free falling for forever.
Oh yeah.
This week was not a good tell to see what was the initial investor reaction.
It did bump. It did bump a little bit. It was at like $2 or $3 a share, and it bumped up to $4. I thought about buying it. Like, just spend $40, get 10 shares, and just see what happens.
Well, wait. I'm just giving another 3 days, see if it's at 1 cent, because everything's fucking falling.
I'm just saying, like, worst case scenario, I'm out $40. Best case scenario, Reggie turns his shit around. Daddy's a millionaire. Know what I'm saying?
$40 to $1 million.
Come on.
Yeah.
It could fucking happen, man. What do you think a voice like Reggie and all these other appointed folks provides here? What do you think that does?
I think some one is a big name, and I think GameStop just needed a win, like on a PR stance. Just Reggie is loved,
right?
And I think will be forever loved.
Yeah.
Even if this does turn out bad, and this is just like this is the first time where I was like, oh, there's someone I like on the board, or there's someone I know that I trust to maybe turn this around. They need to do something. Reggie's been successful. He worked his way up Nintendo. Is his body ready for this, though? I don't know.
I mean, he's got a strong background in really coming in and turning things around at different places. I think Pizza Hut might be one of the ones where he does talk about how that was kind of a failure with the Bigfoot Pizza and what they did. Because I think he said that podcast he was on, that Cornell interview podcast, he said that if it weren't for what happened at Pizza Hut, Papa John's wouldn't exist at all, but it was because of where Pizza Hut failed during his time there that it gave Papa John's even the opportunity to rise the way they did. But he was part of like the VH1. I don't know what his role was there. I can't remember, but he was there when they got all the like I love the 80s shit off and running. Like really got VH1 to be viable for Gen X after Gen X had grown up and gotten away from MTV. He obviously Nintendo is where we know him from and all that, but I mean he worked at Guinness, he worked somewhere else. But right, I mean everything he's touched, he's kind of helped to turn around. So while here he's on the board of directors, so it's not necessarily like a 40-hour work week, but I think he could still help.
I think, I mean, if they do that cafe thing, right, that we've been seeing pop up, like we don't have anything like that in America.
No,
and it's popular as all hell in Japan. I can see it work. I can see it working.
I'm telling you, I mean, there were spots in Japan that were definitely still being visited daily, arcades and things like that people were still going to actively. But even here, when I worked at a comic shop, like that is a prime example of you still have a retail space where people come in and buy things, new and used. And then you have a gaming space dedicated where people come in and they play D&D, they play HeroClix, they play Magic, they play whatever. Like, I think there is opportunity for that. It feels weird that it's like,
especially now, like
corporate.
What the hell does a wall at GameStop look like in November when you got PS5, but it blurs the line of PS4? And is there a PS5 section? Is it just a PS4 section? Do you have a PS4 section? Is there even PS5? Like,
well, even now when you go into Target now, like you look at that wall and it's like the top of the wall has come down so that there's no longer the physical game spaces. It's just racks of cards for digital vouchers or whatever. Like, I feel like that is the way to do it. I mean, you think about comic book stores still thriving today where I love comics. I have not bought a physical comic in a decade because of how easy it is to buy digitally. And it's basically that way with video games as well. The only video games I'm going to buy are going to be older. I'm not buying anything brand new unless I'm forced to, like a Ring Fit or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or I literally don't have a choice.
Rock Band 8.
Right, yeah.
The plastic guitars back.
I think there's opportunity to do something like that where you could, I think the digital vouchers could work, right? Like even in comic shops.
Do that.
When comics first started going digital, I was still working in a shop, and that was the concern obviously was like, hey, when you guys go digital, what the fuck's going to happen to retailers? And Marvel was one where they were like, well, I think Marvel did it a weird way where they were like, they sold the standard issue for $2.99 or for $3.99. You could get the physical plus a digital code. And it just meant that we had all of these copies of the $3.99s that didn't sell because people didn't care.
Yeah.
They either were going to have the digital or they were going to have that. So then they got to the point where they were just putting digital codes in every book. And that was the whole thing, right? But like that retail market got through it and I think is on the other side of it. And you have both sides of it. I think piracy is still a big concern for that. I think honestly, since Tumblr changed a lot of its copyright laws a few years ago and changed a lot of things, I mean, that was all for pornography reasons, but it also, like, Tumblr was a big space for illegal comics distribution too. So like there's all of these things that influence all of that, and I think the video games are in a similar river here, but maybe it's Reggie that can paddle them on out.
Well, speaking of physical copies, congratulations, Ben.
Hey, yeah, finally.
He has his physical copy of Shenmue 3.
I didn't think that would ever happen.
That was his prediction.
Even after I saw Sandeep got his like 6 months ago for PS4, I still didn't think it would happen. Next up on our list, speaking of things I never thought would happen, that's not a good segue because I, of course, thought this was going to happen. Herman Host was interviewed by the PlayStation blog. He said a lot of stuff about worldwide studios in the future and also Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Editions coming to PC this summer.
Hey!
Which Jason Schreier told us back in January. Are you ready to go back there to the beginning of man? Or the end of the... the end of the man, the beginning of whatever. Are you going to buy it on PC?
No.
Yeah, I don't think.
No.
But I'm stoked for people to have that opportunity because
I think it will look pretty.
Yeah.
One is a tough year,
Yeah.
tough as in there's a lot to play this year. That I'm not probably gonna be backtracking too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad it's coming to PC. It seems like that's this. I'm curious. That's now the second game in an engine that's being brought to PC.
Right.
So there's something boiling over there at Sony SIE.
Do you want a future where all of your PlayStation library can be played from your PC?
I mean, yeah, that'd be nice. Give me the option. I would love to do day and date with Xbox, and then this conversation about needing a PS5 and not necessarily a Series X goes both ways now, right?
Yeah, I agree. The NFL and 2K have come to they've announced a multi-year partnership for multiple future video games. Things are early in development. New products expected to launch in 2021. And EA still has the rights for the simulation games.
Yes.
So we should expect these to be slightly different. What is missing from Madden, Matt, that these could help grab or fill in?
Gameplay wise, there's a lot, but
and what does a non-simulation football game
NFL
look
Street.
like? Something like that.
I think that like a Blitz, something that's over the top arcadey. I think we're gonna get something like NFL Street. There's just everyone remembers NFL Street fondly. And I know like the last couple, like 3, and then that tour did not do well, but I think they were because they were half-assed and they weren't these great things. I think there is a market out there for NFL Street. Now, I think the actual NFL Street name is with EA.
Yeah.
But
you could do that,
2K Street or
I'll tell you right now, if that is the game, I'll buy it.
Exactly. There's that market out there that doesn't like
me
play football or it doesn't buy Madden because it's simulation based. But we'll play like a Blitz or remembers Blitz and all that stuff. If
they can do it and they can make it fun to play, like those old games were fun to play, I'm fucking there. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I wish someone would have done it without the NFL. Like, I wish they would have been doing that for years and years and years. Because I've tried other ones. I tried, like, was it Mutant Bowl or Blood Bowl or whatever the fuck? Like, Mutant League Football. Like, they're just not. There's newer ones, just something's missing from it. But it's not the license. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean?
I think the license goes a long way. Like
for some people, For me, I could give a fuck.
Yeah.
I want to be able to make my own dumbass logo and just make all the colors black and orange and fucking paint pumpkins on it and call it the fucking little boys and just go wild.
I said also someone threw out, like, if you look at 2K NBA, that is, like, franchise mode and how deep it is, like, they could easily make a sim where it's like Football Man, but American Football Man, and they could go that route too.
I mean, it's supposed to be multiple future video games, so maybe there's that. Maybe there's something streetish. Maybe there's just fucking open card packs on your phone for 99 cents a piece. Like because that's the other side of the NBA stuff. The 2K is like it's very much just a fucking casino at this point. So
they still play well.
And
NFL Street, I think, kind of missed that online part of it. I think there was online play, but like that was during PS2 era, and no one really played Tour on PS3.
Yeah, no.
Like so, like having always like playing with friends, like and playing those pickup games where it was like a random pool of licensed players, and you're like, oh shit, we got the Michael Vick, and I got first pick. I got Michael Vick, and then you would go, oh, I got Ray Lewis, and that was always fun. I could easily see that being, especially now when you look at Madden's the fucking mode I really like, the one that was weird with
I forget the name of it.
Keyman. What do you call it? And it was like you could pick the car, and I was like a superstar on your team, like that. In a full
Time will tell. We'll find out next year, I suppose. Have you ever heard of the Death Set?
The Death Set.
The Death Set, Matt, is a band from Australia who announced that 5 new songs have been licensed for the new Tony Hawk 2020 game and, quote, we'll be hearing this shit soon. The post was then taken down, but it's available for viewing on archive.org. Where you at?
I don't care.
Don't care. Oh, wow. I was asking legitimacy. Is this game real or is it not? You're like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't.
Man.
I don't trust them to make a good one.
So do you think this is, because we heard some skiz about it being, there was a kind of another remaster or re-release of the old games scheduled or in talks at Activision?
Once,
They did fuck it up once. Do you think that's what this is, or do you think this is a brand new Tony Hawk game? What would you?
I think it's going to be brand new.
Do you think they could do it? I'm weirdly optimistic this time. Don't know why.
Why?
I don't fucking know. I
didn't even play the last one.
I played all of them. They've all been bad. They've been so fucking bad, but yeah.
My only concern is something like Session.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The bad Tony Hawk game doesn't eat its cake, you know?
If it's a bad Tony Hawk game, I don't think it will. If it's a good Tony Hawk game, I think that it definitely falls into place where something like Session is still.
Do you think Tony Hawk moves away from like circling over as an indie 720 or whatever, and do you think they go to a different control scheme? Do you think they adopt the skate control scheme?
I think that depends. I think that if the game is Activision, it adheres to what you know and expect. I think that if it's not, if this is something else, then I think you might find it.
Are you pretty much saying if it's a pro skater, it is going to be Tony Hawk traditionally? And
but even that bad mobile one technically did the pro skater control scheme. They at least went for it as best they could on a mobile format, but so they know that is a desired thing. I feel like Session has filled in the skate market. I know it's not as prevalent yet because it's not on consoles. It's not out of early access by any stretch of the imagination. But I think once Session can get out there, I think the skate people will be satisfied.
Especially now, you got the skate controls if you want them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think that will go a long way for those people. Like once they get it onto Xbox, I think people start to talk a little bit more, for sure. I think the only thing that would hurt Session is honestly if there is a Skate 4. That would suck.
Don't worry.
Well, you never know, right? Like, what the fuck else is EA doing?
We named it all.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. So I don't know. I want skateboarding to be cool again.
Syndicate Mobile.
It's coming. But yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
You want to put a bet on that?
On what? Tony Hawk?
Syndicate Mobile.
Fuck no.
Because I'm right.
It's too long to keep track of.
I thought we had a pet tracker.
We do. I don't feel like updating it. Speaking of updating, Super Smash Bros. Got a little baby update that added some Ring Fit Adventure.
That was the other Japanese article. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
I just saw Ring Fit, man. I was like, all right, exercise news.
I thought you'd see the Smash logo and the Ring Fit people and be like, what? They're in?
I didn't see that, no.
So they are in as spirits. I was going to fire it up this morning and see if I could grab them beforehand, but I didn't. But yeah, I like that Smash still adds like fucking, you know, the main like body that talks to you in Warframe, like the Lotus is the name of it. Yeah, Lotus is in Smash now.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. All right. We're gonna do it quick and easy because it's already, by now, Bit Summit has been canceled. E3 2020 has been canceled. Most everything has been canceled because of Swine Flu 2, the new batch. I don't really know what to say that hasn't been said already about E3 being canceled. I think that in the end, the big companies are still going to put out a show. They'll put out a digital thing. Xbox said as much immediately after. Mm-hmm. Ubisoft said. They're all going to do those things. I think the part that sucks for it's E3 from what just following video games generally across 15 years in this way, there's a lot of things that happen at E3 where people meet people and people talk to people and people get to pitch their game or show their game or do those things that's suddenly not happening, and that sucks and is sad. Like, we already saw that happen with GDC. Then with Bit Summit getting canceled. Bit Summit's in Japan. It's like a smaller indie show, but still Bit Summit is like, there's a lot of cool shit that comes out of Bit Summit always. I forget. Now I don't remember at all. But there was a game that I was like super looking forward to because I heard about it at Bit Summit, and then it came out as one of my favorite things ever, and now I don't remember what the fuck it is. So that should tell you something. But yeah.
I asked this question.
Yes.
Because we are in the gaming industry,
yes.
we know all the little bad breaks that E3 has been having. Do you think this is a break for them?
It still hurts them financially.
True.
Like, even though this show was going to be weird and fucking stupid, the way that all of those fucking leaked documents read, where they're going to have influencers fucking hyping up energy drinks in line.
Management, yeah.
Yeah. Like, even though that's what E3 was going to be, it's still going to make them a fuck ton of money. And knowing that shit is there, I don't know if you know this, but people are generally pretty stupid. So I think that a lot of people would have actually flocked to that. It's not what we would want out of it, because it's not why we go to we don't physically go to E3, but that's not what we go to E3 for. We go there for the other stuff. I think there is an audience who definitely wants to feel like they fit in, and that whole FOMO culture that they're trying to tap into with this E3, new E3. I think they could have made some fucking money off this. And the ESA is a governing body. Like, more than, or almost half, or more than half of their revenue comes from E3 specifically. So I think that there might be some people who are kind of like wiping the sweat off their brow. Like, well, at least we can lean on COVID as a reason to, whatever. But, I think as weird as this year was going to be already, it was still going to be an interesting show with not with PS5, but with Xbox Series X and with all of those things around it.
And that leaked, well, not leaked, but like this supposed Warner Brothers conference that was going to happen.
So that's the next thing. Out of Kotaku again, bringers of such fine news as Horizon Zero Dawn port. Warner Brothers was going to host a conference at E3 this year, talking specifically about Batman, Harry Potter, Rocksteady's new game, and more. Which, the Harry Potter thing, I think almost actively hate Harry Potter, but I'm intrigued as hell by that game, just because of the nature of which we learned by it. One, do you remember the username of the user who leaked that Harry Potter game?
No.
Vape This Bro on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And the leak happened, it was basically what it sounds like, a fucking mall survey. Like, wandering through on a Saturday afternoon. Hey, want to check this out? Like, went into a thing. Everyone was meant to sign an NDA, but they didn't give them out until gameplay had already started. So dude filmed all the stuff of this thing and never signed the paper and dipped before he could even sign anything. And then uploaded to YouTube. It got pulled down by Warner Brothers. A soundless version was uploaded to Jiffy Cat or something like that, one of those, and is now removed years later. But back then you could watch it all, and it was actual, like, fucking Harry Potter, like walking through famous locations. And yeah, like the whole, he detailed, or she, I can't remember, detailed the whole game. Like, it was all meant to be, you're a first year student entering Hogwarts and all the powers you'd get and the upgrades. Like, it sounds like a fucking real ass cool Harry Potter game, which is just super rad. Like, just because you think about what Warner Brothers puts out each year, and it was like when they first brought out that Lord of the Rings game, it was like, hey, you're doing something fucking cool with this property. You know what I mean? And taking the Batman shit and that's neat. And like, to do the same thing to Harry Potter, that's a cool thing. This Batman game, I assume, is the Montreal one, and then the Rocksteady game. I do want to know what that is.
This is what you do. Just put Nemesis system in everything. Harry Potter, Nemesis system. Batman, Nemesis system. Rocksteady's game. That'd be a fucking dolphin game. Put the Nemesis system in it.
Well, the Batman game, it's the rumor is that it's co-op. Like, you have the option to basically jump in as like a Borderlands style. Like, let's right, yeah. But
here comes Robin out of the blue.
Yeah,
and there goes Robin.
But that'd be kind of cool.
Robin, a.k.a. Vapa's Bro.
Vapa's 2.
Bro.
Yeah. So, yeah. we'll see what happens. You know, I assume that.
Do you think? Probably not. As I'm thinking of it, I was like, do you think they'll try to keep the spirit of E3 and maybe stay to what their times would have been and just do the digital thing?
I think you look at this, like the fact that Warner Brothers was going to do something. I think they still will, and I think that this is right now. I think that Warner Brothers and the other publishers are talking with Xbox, talking with PlayStation, and Nintendo, and whatever. Everyone's talking right now, figuring out like what are we doing. Like we know we're all going to do this, so let's just line this up so we can still do some sort of thing. I think it'll be interesting to see how the media reacts to this. Like, you know, the video game media is largely at those shows covering it, but also doing like interviews with all the developers. Like, how does something like that shake out? Let's assume, right, obviously, like this whole fucking global pandemic is the first concern, right? But let's just assume this does wrap up by the time E3 would happen. What do you do if everything is digital? Like, is IGN gonna, you know what I mean? Like, and those are, I'm sure, meeting conversations that are all happening from each other's homes over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But like, what does that part of E3 look like? It's just a weird fucking thing.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I mean, what do you just send gameplay and then IGN just fucking copies and pastes it with a sentence or two above it and like, here's gameplay?
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing moving forward. Like E3 2021, it'll be the year where all of these publishers say, why do we spend millions of dollars to fly our staff and set up booths and do this and whatever when our ROI was this versus this, right? Like, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot that'll have to go into that because obviously like this opening quarter has been so fucking slow for video game releases. So certain publishers are, that is a different conversation for different people to have, but right? Like all of those things are going to factor into it. But I think when you look at what this time frame of E3 2020, if all of these companies can just, and think about it, like even Warner Brothers did this with Arkham Knight. It was a fucking Wednesday morning and we woke up and they announced Arkham Knight for the first time. So the fact, I think it was Arkham Knight was on its own. Either way, it was a random Wednesday. Literally, they just announced the game. It's like, what the fuck? What? Huh? When? What? And then obviously they did ride the E3 train and all the other things as time went on, but do they need to, right? And I think that when the answer to that question is no, like we don't need E3, I'm very curious to see what 2021 looks like. I think the rumored, or the rather leaked plans of E3 2020 are almost a necessity for them next year when they might not have big booths that would have been here already this year.
I completely agree.
Speaking of completely agreeing, a couple more news stories here. Spelunky 2. Little development update from Derek Yu on the PlayStation blog. Generally, across the board, game is looking better and includes better lighting. The game will just kind of come to life a little bit better. He talked for the first time about like new characters in the game. So much like the shopkeepers of the first game, there's a lot of new characters you'll run into or interact with so that each run feels fresh. He used the phrase making each run feel like a brand new adventure. And another piece that goes into that, he talked a lot about the music this time around and sound effects, where before, if you would step on something in the caves and that same thing in the forest, or the jungle rather, they'd make the same sound, basically, or the same sound asset. Now everything in every area has different sounds. So he said the world just feels a lot bigger in that regard, and he just talked generally about how exciting it is and the game's coming along. Nothing, revelatory, nothing crazy, but just
a check-in.
A check-in. And I'm happy about that because I'm really excited for Spelunky 2. Like, that game was the first one. When that came out to Vita, that's all I did. So looking forward to that one. Speaking of looking forward, CD Projekt Red has announced that their next game following Cyberpunk 2077 will be in the Witcher series. However, not Witcher 4. Dun, dun, dun. Of course, that comes in the wake of a patched-up relationship with the Witcher series creator. They all worked that out. Everybody seems happy about the deal they've made now. And
Sure, great.
There you go.
What year do you think that comes out?
Oh, God. What year am I supposed to die? Yeah. Speaking of dying, new life brought into Platinum Games as we get the third of 4 Platinum Games announcements. This one was kind of a multi-tiered announcement within one big announcement. The big idea here, new Tokyo office focusing on live ops games that... live ops being games that will receive updates well after release. Usually when Platinum puts out a game, they put it out and that is it. But now they're looking to do some live service games moving forward. The Tokyo studio will be headed by, I don't know if the actual studio will be headed by, but Motoi Fujita, he was an art director at EA, and he's been around since the days of the Sega Saturn. His words, not mine, which as soon as I saw Sega Saturn as part of his history, I was like, well, Platinum's in good hands. He previously worked on Def Jam, Fight for New York, and FIFA Street, so that should be something for you there.
That's 2 quality games right there, by the way.
FIFA Street as a concept artist, right? So, but he'll be working at that studio to work on... I think a lot of his more recent work has been in the live ops games in the mobile space, so he talked about the challenges of bringing those things into console games. Because for a second I thought they were about to announce a bunch of mobile stuff, but still sticking to console games. But with that idea in play. Part of the announcement stated that Platinum Games has come up with 8 new principles for the company to live by, and they feel like by living by those principles, they can all adhere to the same ideals and messaging. They didn't share those 8. It's an internal thing, but... and also, they have built a new engine that will help for both internal and external projects. They cited Nier Automata selling 4 million copies as a successful example of work that Platinum Games wants to continue to do in the future, but that the new engine will help them. They said it's fast, it's easy to work on, and it's easy to bring projects to multiple platforms quickly. So
good old save as button.
Exactly. Yeah, they finally got it, right? Which is exciting as hell. I don't know. I really am... This new Platinum. I had never, I know people have followed Platinum since the beginning, which is not me. But, I think Bayonetta was probably my first exposure to them largely. And then I've been kind of sticking around. And, yeah, this is a fun...
I played a little Vanquish back in the day, but I think Nier Automata was probably my first deep dive.
Yeah. There was definitely things where they caught my attention, but Nier was where I fell in love.
But you get that 4th announcement. So, we thought these would all
4
be
games,
but now where does the 4th one go? And
I think the 4th one is a game.
I think they end on a game too, but everything's been original. Well, kind of, sort of original with Wonderful 101, but original content with Project GG.
Alan, yeah.
Then the 3rd one is, hey, new original studio focusing on our games and on live serve. What's the 4th? I don't think it's going to be anything. I don't think you're going to get your Nier 2 or your... Well, sorry, I guess Nier 3.
Well, yeah. I think this might be the big one.
But what's the big one?
I don't know. Bayonetta 3? A release date or something? I have no idea.
But even that, though, right? That's...
We already know
Nintendo.
About it. Yeah. All of this 4 is very much about Platinum Games. It's
and
not about what.
Yeah, I don't see them. I think it's gonna be something.
I don't know.
I think it's a game, but I think you're another Project GG is one that's a little bit
further along.
Yeah, one that's ready.
What if it's something like they've acquired or not acquired? Maybe they have a contract to work on something. See, but then that's. I don't know. What if it's a thing where they are making Okami 2 or some shit like that? You know what I mean?
Well, that would be a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's a big number 4. Even if it's not their own original property, it's something that all of them worked on when they were, Clover Studio? Is that what it was back at Capcom? All right, Matt. Seems like every couple weeks we got to talk about this. So let's talk about this. Rely on Horror, a website about horror, has reported that trusted sources have confirmed the previous rumors that Silent Hill is on its way back. There's 2 sources cited in this. The second source basically just independently confirmed what the first source had kind of already said, but the first source largely claims that Sony is behind bringing the series back. The first source claims that Keiichiro Toyama, director and writer of the original game, Akira Yamaoka, composer for the franchise, and Masahiro Ito, the artist, are working from Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Studio on a soft reboot of the series, which we kind of talked about before. That was the idea. And the second rumor is a little bit more fleshed out now. But it goes... I feel like back in January we talked about the idea that there were the 2 Silent Hill games being worked on. One was the remake, soft reboot, and one was the Telltale style interactive story. Then I think 2 weeks ago we talked about the fact that Kojima Productions was teasing something and it seemed very Silent Hill related. And now this second rumor out of this source states that Sony is working to, quote, patch up the relationship between Kojima Productions and Konami to resurrect the Silent Hills project. Reportedly, this is going to make use of next-gen PlayStation VR on the PlayStation 5. Hideo Kojima has been given full creative freedom to make a narrative-driven title. The deal is not yet closed, but it seems likely, says the source. Well, what up?
I cannot believe that this might happen.
It's crazy.
The second rumor. The first rumor, it makes sense. I think Sony's striking while the iron's hot. They have a team that's done horror stuff with...
Project Siren.
Yeah, Siren, yep.
Yeah.
These games generally look creepy. Never played them. Haven't seen much exposure to them, but, it seemed like they could tell a good horror story and game, gameplay. But Kojima Productions.
I mean, in a world where fucking E3 gets canceled and we're all working from home and the world makes no fucking sense. So
that's true.
Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not, right?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, if this is indeed Silent Hills,
yes,
do we get a brand new demo or do they re-release PT?
Whoa. It's weird. I've been thinking a lot about that, actually, funnily enough. The PT thing is weird to me because that was so ephemeral. Like, it is nothing but that. And I think that you immediately cheapen the kind of mystique surrounding that by putting it back out. But then you also do get it back into people, or get it out into people's hands if that happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Norman Reedus still involved? Is Guillermo still involved?
Guillermo's fine, but
yeah.
But I don't even want more Reedus.
Yeah.
What if? We have to have a conference, God forbid, again in the year 2020. But what if he just fucking comes out like Gamescom, just the same way he did before? Like, hey guys, I made a thing. It's called PT. And then we just get God. PT 2020 as something completely different.
Well, I think.
What if it's PT, but you just go the opposite way? Yeah, you go up the steps first and then make the left. When
you look back at that year that we got all that fucking crazy shit, the Final Fantasy VII remake year. I think before 3. That, I don't know if they were all the same year, but all those things where it was kind of like...
Last Guardian release date.
Yeah, all of that stuff where it was like, people have been asking for it forever, so why don't you just do it? And then look at, hey, it sold really, look at that. Look how it did, because you just fucking did it. And it sucks always giving into the crazy fan demands and shit like that. But what if you just fucking did it? Why not? What's to lose? You know what I mean? I know projects are not easy. It's all difficult, but...
You say I was looking to get into horror.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I don't know the lore of Silent Hill too much, but I feel like you have a lot of creative freedom with that IP and that lore.
Yeah, you could do some shit. I'm open for it. I think at this point, what's been really tough about all of this stuff is just we just keep hearing stuff like with every. I'm not just talking about just the Silent Hill stuff, but even earlier with the Warner Brothers stuff, with the what other news stories do we have? I already forgot now. But with Tony Hawk, with all of these things, it's just been like sources say this, sources say this, sources say this, sources say that, and I'm tired of hearing from sources. I'm to the point where I just want some actual concrete announcements to happen, which I guess is the exciting part of E3 that's not happening now. But like, kind of done hearing the what ifs or the you know what I mean.
Just get ready for a lot of top 10 lists the next 2 weeks. Everyone's working from home. Can't report news. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to jump into Silent Hill this week, though. So there's that.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I got it up. It's on...
The Vita has life.
It's on the Vita. And I played my Vita for a good while last night. I played some Parasite Eve, played some Symphony of the Night, played some Dracula X Chronicles, played some... I was jumping all through some shit. Yeah. I even got some trophies on that move.
Wow.
I forget what I played and got trophies on, but... yeah.
Probably not a platinum trophy. Just turn it on in the year 2020.
I know, right? Wake up club. The battery life's still pretty good, surprisingly.
Yeah, the first boy, right? You got the OLED.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, as of a month ago, that thing's 8 years old. I know, right?
You mean years? I think you said months.
No, I said 8 years.
Oh, I thought you said all right.
You heard months.
Yeah.
What I said was years. And what I said also was that is another podcast for another week. I don't know how to bring this one to a close. I mean, if you're home, stay in, enjoy video games, be nice to people when you do have to go out, because if they have to be out, they don't want to be out, and just don't be a fucking dick.
Be safe, take care of yourself.
Yeah. I will say, I went into a Target on the way home from work the other night. I went to 2 stores. Because I went into one not knowing how... I wanted to go to a Target, but I was like, I don't know how it's going to be. It's probably going to be a bloodbath. So I went to a different one, and everyone was a fucking asshole. Everyone's just like, not bumping into each other, but just no one's just being considerate of each other. Everyone's like being shitty just generally. And
yeah.
And then I walk out. I pay after standing in line for fucking ever. I get out to the parking lot. I'm carrying groceries to the car. It's just like a couple things, but I was like, fuck, I completely forgot that we're completely out of a leave. Right? I was like, not that we need it, but just in case you need it. I mean, fuck. I was like, all right, I'm just going to go to Target. Because the store I was in already, as I was walking around, I was like, these prices suck shit. I'm just going to go to Target where I know I can get a leave for cheap. So I go there. God damn, dude. Everyone in this Target. I'm like, I'm sorry, can you reach that for me? Like, people helping each other with shit. People, like, moving out of the way, smiling at each other. Like, just all the workers, as like, I'm sure they're just going through fucking dog shit hell. And they're all like, hey, how are you today? Thanks for coming in. So happy. Hold on a second. Let me just hit myself with a little bit more sanitizer. All right, we're good to go. Yeah, great. Like, just couldn't have been more pleasant, you know? Anyway.
That's about where we're at.
That's where we are.
I normally would ask you, or you would ask me in the end, what are you playing? But, fuck.
This is
here.
the week.
It's here.
That's true.
It's fucking here.
Yeah. I will definitely be trying to... I'm going to try and wrap up Castlevania this week before Doom and
I think Ori's doable for me.
Yeah.
After just a couple hours and now.
Yeah, right. You think Dark Souls?
I'm there. It's like I said, I kind of lost that drive, and especially where I'm at right now, I got to grind, and I know if I'd have to do it at some point, so I want to get it over with now, but it makes it hard to turn it on, especially when, like, Ori, I had a lot of fun playing it that night. Yeah. Warzone, with Nick being out of school, like, that could be a thing that's happening most nights now. Like, there's... Yeah. It's gonna be tough for me to turn back on that PlayStation to boot Dark Souls, besides baseball, and then baseball's Tuesday.
Baseball's canceled, actually. So
yeah, there was on the MLB The Show Reddit. It was like only on PlayStation has another meaning now.
Yeah. Fuck. I can't remember now. I will say I'm tired of the companies trying to market to me that.
How many emails did you get this week about?
Dude, I've gotten so. I told you this morning I got one from fucking Taco Bell, just telling me what they're doing. I'm like, all right, great. Boy. Well, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy video games. Be nice to people. That's all I got. If you want to send in anything, podcast at thefreecheese.com. You can follow us on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at some Free Cheese. Matt is at MattyIce131. I am at The Free Cheese. I get my next Coke box this week, Matt. So next podcast we'll have.
Is it confirmed shipped yet? That's my concern.
It is confirmed shipped as of this morning. We're gonna have next podcast. You can look forward to some Animal Crossing talk from both of us, probably.
From both, I will at least
Doom
attempt
Eternal.
There will be a lot of Doom talk.
A lot of Doom talk, and then we'll find out what's inside the box. Time will tell. That's it. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. We'll see you next week.